Hey everybody, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. I'm doing this series on answering your vocal questions by request and using 35 years of my singing and teaching experience to do my best to give you the goods on these questions that you're asking. So the next question that I got is, fear of singing high notes. I'm afraid to sing high notes. Well, I think a lot of people are afraid to sing high notes. In fact, there's, these fun videos roaming around on YouTube of, professional singers or great singers that are afraid to sing a note, so they duck it or they sing someone else. So there's always that fear, but I want to allay that fear by giving you guys some information I think that will help you. Okay, the first thing is I want you to envision yourself doing something that you love, that you've done a million times, and you can do it in your sleep. Really think about it. I don't care if it's riding a bike, surfing, skateboarding, writing an essay, whatever that thing is, right? Well, it's because you've done it with repetition, and hopefully you've done it correctly with repetition, because just because there's there's an old saying that, you just washed my tongue and I can't do a thing with it. There's an old saying is that practice makes perfect. Well, practice doesn't make perfect, it's perfect practice that makes perfect. Let's get that straight. It's not just practice that makes perfect, because you can embed a bad habit. It's perfect practice that makes perfect, okay? So assuming that you've been practicing perfectly and you're doing something that you love, and let's say for me, I like to swim in the ocean. I don't think twice about just jumping in the, now I watch the water conditions and I make sure that there's nothing crazy, and I jump in the water and I go for my swim or whatever it is that I do, and I don't really think twice about it. I really enjoy it, right? Well, you guys that enjoy singing should be in the same boat. So I have a singing course, it's called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else, and I walk you through all this stuff step by step. So I'm obviously not going to turn you into an amazing singer in 2 easy minutes or whatever these crazy videos that are roaming around and claim that they can make you great or give you great vocal tips in 5 minutes. I will give you a great tip, and this is going to be this, right? When you think about the process of singing, it's building blocks, okay? Now, in a few videos ago, I discussed diaphragmatic support, and I incorporated posture and how to breathe correctly. That is a foundational building block for singing. So once you start to build this house, it's like building a house, so you build this foundation first. I cover this in my course. I've got a lot of great free tutorials on YouTube where you can get all this information, at least parts, little sound bites of it, in order to help you understand how this works. So once we're building this house, and if you've got your diaphragmatic support down, you've got your relaxation response between your chest, your neck, and your throat, you build good open throat technique and good muscle memory for open throat technique, you understand your vowel modifications, and I have videos on all these, and I'll put as many as I can in the description tag so you can kind of go through them. And again, there's small sound bites. That alone isn't going to make you great, but it's going to really give you a good snapshot of the total sum and picture on what it takes. So imagine going through this and practicing this with good repetition and good practicing habits, practicing something correctly. Like I said, I just washed my tongue and I can't do a thing with it. That's an old TV commercial. I just washed my hands and I can't do a thing with them. Go check it out, old 70s, 80s commercial. Anyway, back to singing. Once you practice these correctly with repetition, you're going to find that it becomes easier and easier and easier to hit this note. Now, the problem is going to be is once you get to a certain note in your range that it becomes so easy, you're going to want to sing yet a higher note, and that's going to become easier, and then you're going to want to sing a higher note, and so forth and so on. So it's not like just a one-stop shop, all of a sudden, I can sing something great. But let me explain to you what I mean. When I think of a high note, I don't think of the note being high. I kid you not. Now most people go, oh my gosh, my range, I'll go to an A4 if I'm a tenor or a high baritone like me, and that's the total top of my range, right? That's how most people think. Well, I don't think about it. I used to think about it like that, but I don't think about it like that anymore. I think about it like, okay, do I have good strength in my abdomen to sustain the note I want to do? Have I just oversung a phrase, or am I exhausted from oversinging something from before and now I'm trying to sing something even more difficult? Or did I pace myself? And there's a whole thing on pacing, and we'll discuss that too in a minute, or not in this video, but in another video. And then can I visualize the note that I'm singing? Now, here's where this gets interesting. There's a video out, how to trick your voice. Well, it's kind of absurd, but there's some truth to that, and let me explain. I used to like to surf a lot, okay? And for you surfers out there, people that have gone in the ocean, you'll identify with this, all right? Now, in surfing, and even if you haven't surfed, please follow me on this because this will help you. There are different breaks on the shoreline. There's third break, which is the break that crashes right on the sand. There's second break that's a little farther out, and then there's first break that's really far out, or the biggest break that comes in from the ocean. And they usually kind of come in waves, 3 at a time, 4 at a time, 5 at a time, depending on the swells that are coming in. Well, what a lot of people do when they're scared is they're paddling out, past second break and they're going to first break. And they don't always break at the same spot. Sometimes they break really far out, sometimes they break farther in. So you have to be prepared to get out to that wave before it gets you, right? So that's the high note. That first break is the high note. So what a lot of people do is they panic. Just as the swell is coming in, it's intimidating. And they look at this swell and they're like, whoa, what do I do? Well, everyone knows what you do is to get a lay of the land, or in this case, a lay of the water. You don't sit there and wait and sit in what's called the strike zone and get pummeled by a wave and end up like a washing machine and washed ashore or pinned down on the ocean floor, right? What you do is you swim out to the wave as fast as you can, maybe even go past it on the first one, unless you're an experienced surfer. Go past it to let it go by and see, because there's another one probably coming up, maybe even farther out. And you've got to get past that wave so it doesn't overtake you. Well, so it is with singing. By the way, so you get a lay of the land of the wave, right? And then when you finally understand where it is, then you can ride that wave in and you're good to go. Well, so it is with singing. You don't sit there in the strike zone and just before you get to the top, you panic, right? And you miss your note. So when I said about tricking the voice, what you do and what I do and how I think about notes now is I think about strength in the abdomen, good rib cage expansion, which we discussed in one of my videos here that we just put out about breathing, a relaxation response, how to relax my chest, my neck, and my throat so I'm not all tense. Everything is coming from my abdomen. All my strength is the engine that drives my car. I've built good muscle memory for the open throat technique we just discussed. And then I have a vowel, a specific vowel placement that I want to hit within my voice. And I've worked my voice, my register, I've worked my passaggio, and I've gone through all the building blocks of building my house and all the rooms in the house. But I built all the building blocks so that by the time I want to get to that high note, I don't go, hey! I don't think about that note being high. I think about, okay, whatever that note was, a D or E or whatever it was. And I think about, okay, the placement to get to that note requires this much strength in the abdomen, a relaxation response, and this vowel that I want to hit in a certain specific kind of way. It could be hitting it hard, hitting it lightly or soft, or a combination thereof, right? So getting back to doing what you love and doing it with repetition. The more you do this over and over and over again, the less intimidating that note is. And then the more you sing a song over and over again, and you can pace your set where you don't over-sing one part of the set where you don't have enough strength to get to the next part of the set. And again, relaxation response in the stomach too, so you're not bound up all the time where every song is just, pure tension, and you're able to manage away this stress and really understand how to get to these notes. That is the way to sing high notes and sing them stress-free and sing them consistently, okay? Hopefully this was helpful, and God bless you guys, and until next time, peace out.
Won't you help me understand